everybody, it's Lon.TV, and a few weeks ago I took a look at the Belkin Universal Mobile Keyboard, which I really liked, both for its typing comfort, but also a little switch that it has on the back for very quickly switching back and forth between two different Bluetooth devices. I found it to be a very nice feature to have, and a bunch of people wrote in and said, you gotta check out the Microsoft Mobile Universal Wireless Keyboard. So I picked one up, bought one off of Amazon the other day, and I am very impressed with its build quality. It's got a very nice rubberized coating on the top here. It doesn't slide around on the desk all that much, although it does pick up dirt and stuff because it's not sticky, but it does tend to attract dirt. But it doesn't move at all. It's very, very secure once it is opened up and laid out on your desk. Now, like the Belkin, it also has a switch, but this one has 3 positions, so you can pair up 3 different devices, one with each of these switch positions, and very quickly switch back and forth, which works really, really well. Now, Microsoft labeled these with different operating system icons, so you have a Windows one, an Android one, and an iPad, iPhone one, but you don't need to pair up a Windows device with the Windows switch position. So in a minute, I'm going to show you 2 Android phones and an iPhone. One of those Android phones is going to be on the Windows switch position. That is because this is a Bluetooth keyboard. It works with any Bluetooth device. So it's not limited to what these little icons on the keyboard say it should be, but I think it's just more of a point of reference. It probably would have made more sense to have numbers up there versus the operating system icons, but perhaps they felt like it made more sense to people to do it that way. The keys are a little bit too small for me. That's my only real gripe with this, is that they're larger than maybe some of the chiclet keyboards I have played with, but not large enough for me. I'm very particular about my keys, and I still think the Belkin is a little bit nicer to type on. I'll show you a comparison in a few minutes on that. And the things actually do fit pretty well in there that you might put in a keyboard like this. So an iPad here, as you can see, fits in quite nicely. It doesn't seem to move around all that much. And again, this is a universal stand, so it'll pretty much work with any tablet that you can find and fit in there. Phones are a little trickier. Like the iPhone here, because it's so thin, doesn't really grab onto that lip all that well. So if you just touch the screen, it might flop over like so. But larger Android phones, this is the LG G4. This one seems to stay put pretty well, as does the Moto G. Also seems to work pretty nicely in here too. So not too bad on Android phones, a little challenging on the iPhone. Now what we're going to do is boot up all 3 of our phones, and we'll switch back and forth between them and type out some stuff. Now, before I started shooting the video, I paired up the keyboard in each switch position with each device. So the Windows position here, I paired up with my G4. So we're going to start typing on here. As you can see, the G4 is responding to that. Now I'm going to flick the switch to the Android position, which I have paired up with my Moto G here. And you can see now it took effect, and there I go, typing away. And then I can switch over to the iPad iPhone position, which will, of course, go to my iPhone 6 here. You'll see that keyboard on screen go away, and now I've got the keyboard back there. I can flick it back to the first position now, and we'll just wait a second, and it should pair back up with our G4 here, and there we go. So very easy to switch back and forth once you get everything configured. And if you've got 3 devices that you use very frequently with a Bluetooth keyboard, this is going to be a lot more convenient because you pair each device up with each switch position once, and then you just have to flick the switch back and forth, and you can see how quickly things work on here. But from the standpoint of typing comfort, I really still prefer the Belkin. It's got slightly larger keys than the Microsoft keyboard has here, as you can see. So this might not mean a lot for some folks, but for me, I'm a very picky typer, and these just seemed like just right for me as far as small keyboards were concerned. So I type a little bit better on the Belkin than I do on the Microsoft keyboard, but the Microsoft keyboard definitely feels like the better built product of the 2. So if this key size isn't of a concern to you, that if you've typed on other similar sized keyboards in the past, I think you're going to like this one a lot, especially from the standpoint of being able to very easily switch between 3 devices versus 2 on the Belkin, and it is very, very nicely constructed. Definitely a higher quality product than the Belkin feels like. I believe this is just under $60 right now on Amazon, so not all that expensive, and certainly very convenient given that you don't have to keep repairing things over and over again with the many devices you might use with a keyboard on a regular basis. This is Lon.TV, and thanks for watching.